What's up, everybody? Today on Most TV, we're asking the question, who's the strongest man? We're not just talking about men in the public eye, famous people, rappers, politicians, where we see standards of masculinity that are often hard to live up to. Today, we're talking about men we really know, our fathers, teachers, coaches, uncles, and mentors, to find real examples of strength that we can aspire to. And we're going to hear from a special friend of Most TV, Rocky McIntosh of the Washington Redskins, famous on the football field, but also an all-around stand-up guy, weighing in on what it means to be a strong man. Stay tuned for Most TV.
Lock down. Bring the beat back. Drop the beat now.
People enjoying Bush, even though he is the president. Like if 50 Cent says something, it's gonna be on VH1, MTV.
No spinal cord attached to the mic. I'm more wired.
Because he's making money and he has like control on what he's doing. And
You do. I keep it casual because I ain't never loved a
Because like back then, like the problem was, you know, violence against like black people, right?
But as you walk the path, can't miss him, just don't blink. Still waters run deep, so you just might sink. See, he flows, but you can keep.
You're watching Most TV.
Deaf like his wardrobe is kept in coffins. And that's not to say.
Welcome back to Most TV. Today we're talking about what it means to be a strong man. We're here with some Most Club crew members, Aaron Harris, Johnny Benavidez, Kendall Gordy, and now Jonathan Wade. To get started, let's take a look at the last episode to see what people had to say about men in the public eye when we asked the question, who's the real man?
who's the real man?
Between 50 Cent and Bush.
George Bush, because he's making money and he has like control on what he's doing and everything.
All he has to do is press a button. Like, he doesn't have to get his hands dirty. He doesn't have to make it seem like he's a roughneck, or, you know, he doesn't have to get shot 9 times before people respect him.
To me, 50 Cent might be the man.
Because I'm from the streets, I would say 50 Cent, he more have a street cred.
And because in his life, he's been going through a lot.
Not because he's a shot-up rapper who glorifies that he got shot and sold drugs, but the business aspect of it, of him.
You know, knowing a little bit about 50 Cent and where he's grown up and things that he's done, I think he's overcome more adversity.
I think Martin Luther King is the real man.
Because his dream wasn't just for African Americans, but it was for the world and society.
Martin Luther King was a leader in a real positive way. I mean, that's what I think about when I think about a man.
He brought different races together. Hip hop does the same thing, but it was more generated to like the black culture. The darker brought whites, blacks, Hispanics. He fought for equal opportunity.
Both of them have my respect.
To me personally, it would be Martin Luther King would be a prophet that was before my time, and Tupac would be a prophet of my time. To me, it's the top.
Wow, they had a lot to say. Hearing what people had to say, who do you think society would say is a real man?
Well, I would have to say a real man would be Tupac. You know, his music changed the world. It certainly inspired me, you know. Even from way back, I still listen to his music. People from back in the days, they still bumping his music these days in their cars and all that. So that's a movement, a big movement right there.
I got a question of like, is it a positive movement that he's like giving to the youth? Like, is it a positive message that he's sending out?
Yeah, cause it shows that his music is still alive, even though he's dead, you know.
But some people would say it's like mixed feelings with his music. One day he'll have a positive song, next day it'll be negative.
Well, yeah, hip-hop's about expressing yourself, so, you know, you put your feelings into it, you know. You gotta respect the man. He did his thing with music. But yeah, Tupac will have to be the realest person I know. Dead or alive.
Kendall, what you think? Who's the realest man?
50 Cent, because I believe like him and Tupac are the same rapper, except Tupac can rap better. But like what they came from, like they basically come from the same bottom and they both worked their way up. And so like him being shot 9 times and having all the money now has really made him who he is today.
So you're saying that society would say that with the money that he has and surviving 9 shots in his body would make him a real man?
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to disagree, because I think this, like, in this point, I think Martin Luther King is gonna be the real man, because I think it takes a real man to like actually stand up for what you believe in, and like to just hold your ground on this whole peaceful movement and not sway from it, like despite any obstacles or any violence that faces your family. Like for a man to like put the well-being of his family on the line just for the betterment of an entire race is just like it's just a thing that you can't just take away from him. 'Cause he was a great man.
I agree with Aaron. I think Martin Luther King is definitely someone who I think is a real man, not because of who he's compared to, but because of what he's done for himself and the fact that he's not perfect. He, as many people understand, even though he was an activist and someone who stood up for civil rights, he was also a person who's flawed. There's been, accusations about him, with him, adultery and things like that, and him, having females on the side, his side joints or whatever. So, just not necessarily, I think to be a real man is to be iconic, something that people won't forget. You remember Tupac, you remember 50 Cent, and we remember Martin Luther King. And I think beyond intelligence, beyond money, and beyond being shot or even showing aggression, I think it's to be a real man is also to be remembered. Because if you're remembered,
like a legacy.
Yeah,
it's all about your legacy.
Yeah,
what you leave on the earth for the people behind you.
Right. Okay, so we've got a good list here of what society says being a real man is about. We got his origins, we got shot 9 times, influential messages, concrete viewpoints and beliefs. We got to be memorable or iconic. Go online and tell us what you think at www.mencanstoprape.org or the Men of Strength Facebook page. When we come back, we're going to talk about the strongest men we know and see how they compare to society standards. Stay tuned for Most TV.